So we are a bit grounded today because it is really cold, it's raining, and it's pretty windy. So we're going to go out filming today for the next story. That's not going to happen, but we hear tomorrow, Sunday, is going to be better. So let's hope. In the meantime, we are in our backyard taking photos of macro photos and anything we can find. The grasses are really pretty when they're swaying in the wind, and they're the last of the hakame grasses right there. So we leave them through the winter so we can watch them move back and forth in the wind. It's really pretty. But you can see behind me all our big trees are creaking in the wind like they do when they're rubbing against each other. So it sounds really nice. And say hello. Hello. I'm frozen stiff. I'm going in.
I don't know if it's my fingers are so cold, but my button will shut off.
Oh, okay. See you soon.
What are you talking about?
We're locked inside. This is what happens when we get locked inside. We do all sorts of goofy stuff. But
say, look at my baby.
We're bored.
On the treetop. The treetops are no, they're not breaking right now. We have no.
Okay.
We had two trees a couple years ago woke us up about 6 a.m. and broke off halfway.
Yep, and almost hit Sedgwick.
Luckily, they fell away from the house.
We'll show you Sedgwick. He's one of our baby bushes, our baby trees. He was only a baby when we got him, and now well, I don't know how old he was when we bought him.
We're just babbling.
We always do that. Oh. Didn't I started this off with, this is what happens when we're left inside.
I want to go out.
We were supposed to go filming today, but we're stuck inside, and we're going to show you why. I'm not going out in that. It's too cold, it's wet, it's moth.
She has me in a lock. You can't see it. I'm stuck here. There, now I go.
All right. Okay, there's Sedgwick. Now you know. Good morning. We're back on the road. It's Sunday, and the weather finally broke. It looks like we've got a little bit of blue sky poking through after yesterday's storms. And today's art prompt that we chose is leading lines. So whenever we go out, we'll take photographs as reference, and then go back to the studio and I'll paint them, draw them. And this is what we're going to do. We look forward to that. You have anything to add?
No, not right now. I'm fogging up. We're
Okay.
suddenly fogging up with all our hot energy.
We were just saying we should have started this channel in the spring.
Yeah.
So that we'd at least have a couple of months to not freeze while we're out. But that's
only
okay.
gonna get colder.
It is, yeah. And as I may have mentioned this before, I'm a fish stick until spring. So we're gonna see how well I do on trails and things in the cold. I think I need a heated jacket. Anyway, we'll see you there. Okay, bye. You're not going to believe this. It went by too fast for us to film it, but there was a chair.
It was a chaise longue.
Yes, an outdoor.
Yeah, beige.
Chaise
Looked in
longue.
pretty good shape, but who knows?
It did.
Yeah, just sitting on the side of the road.
We were going to turn around, but it means we have to go all the way back up to the gas station and turn around, so that's another 15 minutes. So, for the sake of filming, no, we're not doing that.
But we saw a chair.
There's a chair. I think it's becoming our thing.
I think so. Yeah.
Yep, every time we go out, and we don't see it when we're on normal trips.
No.
It's only when we're going to film
Yeah.
that we see a chair.
And they're on the side of the road or on the road. It's not like in somebody's backyard where you can expect a chair or something.
Yeah. No, they're just...
That was a real comfy one, too.
Mm-hmm. Well, we know we can go rest if we need to later on the way back. Okay. We have to make a pit stop at Home Depot.
What'd you get at the Home Depot, Lisa?
A latch for the back gate. It keeps opening up when it's windy.
Or a raccoon.
Or a
walks along
raccoon.
the top.
Yeah, we have video of raccoons opening it, and then they turn around and look at it.
So I have to put a stop to that.
Yep. Okay, on to the park. Okay, so we ended up at Net Point Park in Nanaimo. And it's a beautiful park. This is the trail going down to the water. We're going to keep walking on the hike. We are still looking for leading lines in nature. I collect beach glass. Look, I'm so happy. Okay. Leading lines.
There's a bunch of sea lions. But they're pretty far away. They're just little dots.
I'm getting it, but it's going to be really iffy. This arbutus, beautiful arbutus. Look at that. So here's a good example of leading lines, running right up the bark there, and even has a bit of a turn to come back down into the picture. This is a beautiful specimen. That's lovely. One of my favorite trees, arbutus. So I'll stand back and then you can see it. Look at that. So here's an angle that would be interesting possibly to paint. Up here, just moving up into the branches. Or here. Or if you can get a bit of the, it's a cloudy sort of overcast day. It's starting to get a little bit of sun now. So you can't really see the horizon line. It'd be nice to see that. You could also see a perspective here where this main trunk is leading up and then out and then coming down into the beach area again. So it's bringing the eye back down into where the logs are. So that's an interesting perspective. I'll even just turn just a little bit more. There we go. So you can see sort of that circle going around from the lower left up and around and then pulling the eye back down towards the logs on the beach.
Good night, everybody. We've had trouble this week.
It's been hard.
And not just with the editing and the what are we shooting and trying to find a song tonight. It's after 11 o'clock at night. And we've had a crappy week.
And this goes live tomorrow,
Yeah.
Sunday. So,
And it's,
yeah,
multiple things have happened this week in our lives. And
expensive things.
expensive things.
Yeah.
And then it's just, so when something else comes up, like we can't find the right song for a certain part of the video, we just end up laughing and having belly aches, and it's been nuts.
Mm-hmm.
But this morning we had a really good talk for like half an hour while you were in the shower. I was standing outside, and she's like, record this, get your phone and record this. So I'm holding up the phone, recording these very philosophical thoughts about leading lines, because when we did the video, we thought, oh, we'll go out with a purpose and have leading lines. Great, photography composition, we can teach about that. And we found some, and we, shot the video, and
I don't think we really taught anything. It was just how we perceived a few things.
We thought we might taught. I thought we might taught. After 11.
It's 11 o'clock.
Oh.
But I think the hardest thing was we got out into the park and the city, and it was really hard in nature to find the leading lines that we thought we normally can find a lot of, things to focus on in there. But the biggest challenge was just putting it all together. And not that there's anything wrong with the video. I'm okay with it. And
I haven't really watched it, what we've edited. We've edited the whole thing.
Yeah.
And we put music to it, and finally.
So it's all ready to go.
It seems fine. I haven't watched it all the way through with the music and everything. So it seems okay. It's shorter than our other ones, and that's fine. But
well, that's because we kind of struggled. And we're just being honest. We struggled finding leading lines in nature. And then when we got down to Nanaimo, they were doing a whole bunch of construction, and everything was tented off. Some of the areas that we really wanted to go down and take some pictures of the older buildings. And then you'll see the one neon sign that we got. And it was just really cramped quarters. And when I'm going along the neon sign, I'm actually jumping a bit because I'm going to hit a pole when I'm going sideways. So it just seems like the universe might have been throwing some interesting things our way this week in multiple areas.
Yeah.
But
including trying to make dinner tonight while we're editing, and then something on the stove breaks. And we got smoke in the kitchen.
But I think what we're trying to get to, the roundabout way, is this looking at leading lines, it started to make us think in a different way. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't just about composition in art and photography. So it was about how you could think of leading lines. They also work in your life. So if you're setting goals up, like we all do, and your intention to meet those goals, I think even if it's subconsciously, you start to, like mood boards or manifesting. That's another word for it. But
journaling.
Yep. You start to, even if you subconsciously make decisions in your life and you've been thinking about this end goal, I think you're going to start making decisions that are going to lead you, hopefully, to that end goal. Because I've had that happen in my life. Years ago, I made a mood board up, and I ended up hanging it in my kitchen at the time. And it was really nice. It was almost like a painting, actually, but it was a collage. And years later, when I was cleaning out my mom's house to help her move, I found it. And I looked at it, and it was really interesting. Everything I put down on that collage, everything I wanted, has come true.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And so I'm going to be doing another one, I think, because right now I've kind of feeling like, for me, I'm feeling like I'm at a, for lack of a better term, crossroads with my creativity. And
You've gone through a lot of changes in the last
6 years since we moved here.
6 years since we moved. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we won't get into all that.
No.
But
there's been a lot of things to push me off track from my creativity.
Kind of like this week with this video and everything, and our life in general. Yeah.
And it's just been a challenge to try and keep. It's almost like you're going along the highway and you keep going off to the side and you have to keep veering back into your lane. So it's felt like that a lot. And I'm creative during the day, but it's a different creativity. And what I do every day is web design development right now.
Okay, if we're talking about leading lines, the point we're trying to get to is, okay, the thing that I did this morning, I went onto Google. I said, what's a leading line? Like we've shot all this video last weekend. What's a leading line? Well, we're going up trees and we're going paths down the rocks and up the buildings and the windows and things and the columns. Okay, so that's photography composition. But then this morning we were talking about leading lines beyond that. What are leading lines that are not photographic compositions? How do we get leading lines in our lives? Because there's so much more that can lead us in life. Forward, backward, sideways, throw us off course. So it's like this video is a metaphor, sort of, not really, but you could make it a metaphor for where's life going. I don't know.
Well, that's where the title comes in. Where's life leading us? And I think
this video is like weird. This is true. We're not sure right now.
Yeah.
It's like we look for the leading lines, but they're not there. So then what do we have to do to find the path? We're going up and down and around.
I think we're going into far, really far into, was it existentialism or something? We're not going to cover that in this video. But no, I think it was really interesting for us to go out as two creative people, and we were really having a hard time finding leading lines for composition. But then we've had these conversations since we went out last weekend and started recording. We've had multiple conversations, one about what are we doing in multiple areas. And then we started to see that correlation between going out and filming for leading lines and how we're directing our lives towards an end goal. It's kind of getting your feet wet, and never say never. I've learned that in my life. And especially in the last 14 years since we've been together. There's been so many changes. And I've just learned to say, don't say never, because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. So where are your leading lines leading you? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know. We're really curious. And this might, we have a small following right now, but who knows, this video will stay up. It could be 3 years from now that somebody watches this. And still, we're curious. Let us know. Yeah. What have you found has happened? What have you focused on? What have you set a goal to? And then you look back once you've reached that goal and you start seeing all those ways that you made it happen. That's really interesting. Yeah.
So there we go.
So good night. It's almost midnight. We're going to have to get up early and finish the final edits and then get this live in the morning.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you as always.
I'm just going to go with
Steve.
Stephen Murtis.
There's Murtis. We're tired when we start playing with the stuffed animals. Good night. Have a good week. And we'll see you in the next one.
See you in 2 weeks.
Okay. Bye. All right. I'm looking in the middle of the camera right now. Does it look like I am looking at the camera? Now I'm looking over at the green dot where the camera is. So it's over to the left side of the camera. Does it look like, oh, get out of there. You're distracting me. Bad girl. So I'm looking, I don't know where you're looking.
I'm looking at the green dot.
But you don't see, okay, you don't see dishes. I'm looking over at the green dot.
I'm still staring at the green dot.
Okay.
I'm getting
So I don't
sleepy.
know what. Focus. This is what happens. Okay. So this is me looking at the green dot. Does it look like I'm looking at the camera? Because every time I go to film myself, it looks like I'm looking off to the side. So we're gonna get this down pat sooner or later.
So this is the news. I have my news here. You have your news there. I've got the old school. You've got the new school with the iPad.
Yes.
And off we go.
And the weather for tonight.
Darn rainy. Watch out for those big waves coming over the median on the highway when the other cars are going past you.
Stay indoors.
You have theater tickets, so you
So
go
the whole
down.
thing to stay indoors.
You go down to Chemainus in a monsoon. It was a monsoon.
You want to check that?
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead. Here.
Hi.
So there's another chair.